All right, y'all. What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all. Shout out to my man BJ from No Filter MMA. Make sure you'll go over there and subscribe to No Filter MMA. Shout out to my man BJ because he's already put his out, and I told him I would get around to doing this. I know I'm like a week late or a few days late from putting out my brand new triple threat. I've been taking a long time with this one for good reason, just because the first time around it was pretty easy, man. Like, I've been following a lot of these fighters, and the particular fighters I've followed for my quadruple threat, the first time around, I've been watching them for a minute, and I said, when they get to the UFC, they're going to be in the top 5, and at least one or two of them is going to be challenging for that belt, all right? And in that first triple threat or quadruple threat, one of them did challenge for the belt, and that is Tyler Santos, and we got two more who are about to line up, Manon and Aaron, right? Of course, Miranda Maverick, she's still unranked. She's still working her way up. But sometimes that's how it goes. You know, some fighters just have to go through some things, and, you know, they have to just find themselves to eventually get to that top. But shout out to Miranda. She's still a good fighter. I think she has a pretty decent resume. Yeah, but since then, you know, I retired that quadruple threat. Now we on to the new one. With this one, I'm started off with 3. I finally came down to my third because there's clearly 2 that y'all already know I had to put into a threat list for sure. When we seen these 2 hit the scene, there was no denying these 2. But I had to look around and say, okay, who do I pick for this third one? And I got it now. All right. So let's go ahead through this triple threat here, man, real quick. All right. So number 1 on the triple threat list, start from the bottom, working up. Number 13, I'm gonna go with Cashapp Silva. All right, Cashapp Silva, who's 17-4, all wins by finish. That's something I always stress about her because it just shows like a level of danger to her. Cashapp Silva just seems so scary, man. Like when you see her demeanor and we see that resume and how she takes her approach to these fights, girl's dangerous, man. She's 3-0 in the UFC. Of course, all 3 finishes. Probably one of the most dangerous fighters on the ground, but you could probably say one of the most dangerous fighters in the division period. Man, because when you look at this girl, she's always looking for a finish. Not like she's forcing it either. She's just that skilled with her BJJ and her submission game that she can just set up arm bars, knee bars, whatever, in just like a matter of minutes. You know, she's just got like a plethora of submissions on her resume. Name it, she's got it. All right, name it, she's got it. She's got solid takedown accuracy, physical strength, her clinch game, her hands are improving. Definitely has some power when she connects. You know, she was able to outstrike Marina Moreau and drop her in the fight before getting that back and submitting Marina Moreau. All right. So yeah, I think it was an armbar, right? She submitted her by armbar, but she was able to just out grapple and outstrike Marina Moreau, which I thought was crazy. But whoever they match her up against next, better stay off the ground and finish her before she finishes them, because I think maybe in another 2 or 3 fights she'll be getting the title eliminator, because, you know, I feel like that's how fast she's moving now at number 13. You know, she came in and showed that she's better than the fighters that she's in there with. She's wiping them out. So it's time to test her against some, you know, legit competition. Who's out there for her? Who's free right now? Lauren Murphy, Katlyn Chookagian. You know, she's back in the gym training. She's been in the boxing gym and she's been rolling. So Katlyn Chookagian is probably looking to come back in 2024. Macy Barber, Tracy Cortez, they're all open right now. Macy Barber wants to fight, you know, so they're all game names, right? But me personally, I'd rather see her fight Murphy or Chookagian, because I think that would get her closer to the top 10 and we get another fresh face and, you know, start to put in some new heads in here and just really see where she's at, because I think some people are still doubting Cashapp Silva, but even me, I need to see a little bit more. But from what I'm seeing now, she'll definitely be a threat to like the top 10. And that's why I said triple threat, that's what it is. Threat to the top 10, top 5, and eventually getting to that belt, you know. So they'll either do 2 out of 3 of those. So yeah, Cashapp Silva is my number 1. Going up the list, number 11, y'all already know, Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva is in here, man. 16-5 with 1 draw, 4-0 in the UFC. This girl, she came in, blasted out my girl Teresa Bleda. I was like, oh man, I didn't even want to see that fight, y'all, because I knew that was a bad style matchup for Teresa Bleda. Plus, I like both of them, and I want to see them, you know, make their way up. But, man, they fed Teresa Bleda and Natalia Silva, and she destroyed her, man. Right there, I said, wow, this girl's striking. It's on another level, man. And when you look at Natalia Silva, she's come a long way. She's come a long way since her early days. Silva's definitely finding her strengths. You know, she's coming into her style and, utilizing what she's made of. She's making it work at 125. Silva, she's athletic, fast, strong, explosive, good takedown defense, really sharp too. Just a lot of different things with her speed and her attack on the feet. I think it's something that's new to a lot of these girls in the division, which is why she's been dominating and dusting a lot of her opponents. I mean, we need to see her in there with some strong grapplers that can actually get her hands, that can actually get their hands on her. But her takedown defense and her reversal has been so good. She's faced some really big, tall fighters that like to wrestle in there, like Jasmine and Teresa Bleda. But the thing is, they just don't have that takedown accuracy or that explosiveness to get her down. They're too slow. She's handled all of them pretty well. And, she's handled a well-rounded fighter in Andrea Lee pretty well, So I think it's time to see how she handles an experienced top 10 fighter, which they got her lined up against. She'll be taking on Viviane Araújo in February, who's number 8. So if Silva wins that fight, that spot, shoot, for a title shot, it might be one fight away. You never know how they're going to move her, man. Like, if Aaron and Manon can't decide, or if Aaron and Manon fight, she might be fighting the loser of Aaron and Manon. So, hey, that sounds good to me, right? But, yeah, Natalia Silva, she does, like I said, she's done some different things on the feet that I don't think a lot of these other girls have seen before. And I think that's what makes her stand out of the box. It makes her just look so much more like this danger, just like Karine Silva, but, in a different way. So, yeah, Natalia Silva definitely got to have her on that threat, because I think, she'll be fighting for that belt one day, maybe at the end of 2024 probably, All right, so last but not least, this one here, I try not to force it, but we'll see how long this one stays in, because I think she's almost up there now, into that position. But since she's still on the lower half and not into the top 5, I'll go ahead and put her in there. So took a while to choose, but yeah, BJ, I had to narrow it down to this one, Macy Barber. All right, got to put Macy Barber in there, because if I didn't, that would just mean I'm just ignoring what she's doing. I keep giving her props on her changes and the improvements that she's made, but to put the Silva girls in there and not put Macy Barber, who has some good names on the resume, that would be wrong. So got to put Macy Barber. She's 13-2. That's a good resume. I think we can legit say she's a threat, even if she doesn't get to the title. She might be beating some former contenders or fighting for the belt. Even if she was to lose the fight, I think she'd be fighting for the belt at some point. But, to me, Barber, she's come a long way. She came into the UFC young. She had to learn on the job. And she had to learn on the job and get good fast. Of course, she had a couple of rough fights, a couple of losses, even some questionable decisions, like I always say. So getting into the UFC at that age, you have to work hard. She had to work hard and, like I said, work on the job, because if she didn't, she would have started getting beat up, got cut, start from the bottom again, Let me see, 25, let me see, out of 10 fights in the UFC. Yeah, she's at 25 years old. She's at 10 fights in the UFC, 8-2 in the UFC. She's on a 5-fight win streak right now, which I know, again, some of the wins are questionable. Still think Miranda Maverick won that fight. But along the way, she has reinvented her style a bit. She's not just a puncher. She's becoming a deadly clinch fighter as well, using her size on the feet, getting gritty in there. I think her clinch game and her elbows and how she frames them are some of the standouts. Good sharp left hand, good high kicks. That's one thing about Macy Barber. You think, she's a plotter sometimes, but as of lately, she's been a little bit more limber in there, flexible, throwing them high kicks. Still needs to work on her takedown defense. She's still a little bit questionable on her back, a little suspect on her back. But a lot of things on her stand-up part, I think she's doing good. She's doing well at. Scary part of her I think, though, is there's no quit in her. No quit in her. And I think she has some of the most natural power at 125. So I think Macy Barber needs to forget thinking about going to 120, 115 anytime soon. I think where she's at right now, she fits in well with her style and with her size. I think she could make it pretty high at 125. I think her chances are solid, though, of climbing to the top. I do. I think so, especially with where she's at right now. I think that after, she recovers from the surgery on her foot, she comes back early 2024, I think if they move her right, she'll be fighting for a belt pretty soon, because even herself and her team, I think they've been trying to move her right. Not really saying she's scared of anybody, but I think with the names that she called out, like Andrade and Lauren Murphy, that shows you that, yes, she's trying to break into that top 5 and, you know, look for a title eliminator next. And sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to play chess. You know, they don't want to take a high risk, low reward type of thing, you know, or high risk, high reward. They'd rather just go with the low risk, high reward, you know. So with where she stands, I don't think Andrade is going to fight her. Andrade's at 115 now. Maybe the Lauren Murphy fight is something they'll give her in early 2024. So we'll see. But if she gets by her, I think maybe they'll try to match her up with somebody like Blanchfield or Manon. You know, after they fight, maybe she'll fight the loser of that fight. Yeah, but maybe they'll try to match up with the loser of that fight as her next one in 2024. Or that could be, you know, I think they'll let Aaron and Manon fight first, and then Macy will fight Lauren Murphy or somebody like that. Then Macy will probably fight the loser of that fight somewhere in like mid-2024, something like that. But I think Macy Barber, she's made those improvements, and, you know, she's a tough fighter. And, she'll probably be up at that level here pretty soon. I mean, to me, there's really no denying, you know, she's a good fighter. You know, at 5-0, I think, you know, she's learning with each fight, and she's not a quitter. You know, she's not a quitter. So, yeah, that's my triple threat for now. We'll see if we add another, or we'll see if we rotate Macy out whenever she gets a little bit higher. But, yeah, I got the Silva girls and Macy Barber in there now as the ones that I think are going to be into that top 5 pretty soon, or top 10. But, guys, let me know who y'all think are the next threats. I think mostly everybody's been looking at the Silva fighters, you know. But, again, tests are still out there for all of them. We just got to see if they can pass them. What do y'all think? Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe to y'all's favorite WMMA channel. I'm out. Peace.